Hello and welcome to this introduction to Robustel's new and unique Operations Console. Operations Console is the culmination of over 3 years of market research and customer conversations that have helped us to understand what people really want from a router management system. Just before we get underway, we'll share a little history on the development of the RCMS platform. The project started back in 2019, and the goal was to use Microsoft Azure to create a world-beating router management platform. The founding pillars of RCMS are the Robustel module that allows you to visualize all of the key data like signal strength, data usage, which type of network connection, mapping, many other parameters as well can be monitored. And also there's the ability to send applications, configuration and firmware and other softwares over the air, potentially saving site visits. The other pillar is Robust VPN, which is a very smartly integrated VPN service that allows you to reach your routers and also any devices connected to those routers over the air. And if you need any more information on these two modules, then there are other videos available that you can watch on the subject. So the main event is Operations Console. And Operations Console is driven out of some clarity that our customers gave us that large estates of routers, hundreds or thousands in the field, need to be managed at scale, need to be managed by exception. And we also need to make the platform really self-evident and simple to use. So one of the ways we've achieved that is if you look at the left navigation, underneath dashboard, we start with provisioning. So this is preparing the router config and other associated information, a test process, SIM cards, and also documenting that. It's really not a sexy subject, but we find if that pillar isn't in place very clearly, then you can have very major problems further down the road. So a clear section for planning in advance, and also knowing what can be done. Many of our customers are not experts in router configuration. So this allows us to give a template and also allows us to support more in the early stages. After you provision routers and SIMs, you need to install them. And the installation section provides basic installation and asset management tools. So you can actually get the devices in the ground, note when they went in and get pictures and notes, and just check that the process has been done properly. And this is especially useful if you're using third-party installers to do the job. Tech support section, the goal here is to put everything quite simply in one place, everything that is useful to a tech support engineer. And by doing that, new operatives can be trained in a very short period of time. The commercial section gives everything that might be important to a commercial director, a financial manager, a project manager, the things that matter, which are fundamentally uptime and also data usage costs. And the icing on the cake is the estate log, which gives a real-time view of all the events, not from individual routers, but the entire estate in real time. And you can take those events out by an API feed and put them into other management or operational software that you might already be using. And the final entry here is the quick start videos, which aim to give you basically a very simple user manual directly in the platform. So again, you can train and understand the platform and how to use it and how to dovetail it into your operational processes quickly and simply. So we'll give you a very brief introduction of each of the sections as part of this introduction to the platform. There are much more detailed quick start videos, either in the appropriate section or they will be available on YouTube as well. So provisioning. This allows you to develop what's known as a scope of works. So which product, which config, which firmware, Do you want the SIM to be inserted? Do you want a specialist antenna? Basically, we give a template on what the art of the possible, what can be done. And this can be really important, especially for customers in the early stages, to make sure they've thought of everything they need to think about. So by using this template, not only does it make sure you've been thorough in your planning, but it also puts into a repository that every stakeholder in the project can access, not only now, but maybe in 2 years' time, when you want to know exactly what the conditions of the deployment were according to how they were configured. The installation capability means that if you are rolling out maybe 1,000 routers and you have to invoke third parties, an installer as a role can just see this screen. They put in a serial number, a site name, all of the relevant details. A site picture can be extremely useful in validating that the process, the actual process has been followed accurately when installing the router. So that may not be used by every customer, but certainly it's a tool. And some may use it not as primary, but a supplementary system for monitoring installations. Tech support, as described, this gives every single useful piece of technical information that is available in the platform to a tech support operative. So we can simply put in a serial number, click start, and we run a diagnostics check, and we can see all sorts of data and the history of it. And alongside that is the LED test, the remote access, the SMS tests, Wireshark trace, and speed test. Just about every tool you could think of that is useful for resolving problems. And the key part is resolving those problems without the cost of a site visit wherever possible. So with the provisioning section, we get it right first time to minimize the chances of needing site visits. With the tech support section, we give as many tools as possible to remediate problems very quickly and save a site visit. The commercial section currently has two key parameters that are managed. The first one is data usage. Now, this can be very significant, especially if you're using maybe more expensive roaming SIMs. So you need to know the exceptions. So this ranks all of the devices by data usage from high to low. So the ones that have used a small amount or an expected amount of data, maybe below a threshold, they need no management. The ones perhaps that have used 2 gigabytes, you need to understand why, and also to perhaps stop them before the charges get too great. The other key feature in the commercial section is the uptime, and that works the opposite to data usage. We care about low numbers there. Anything that's 100% uptime is working wonderfully. If something is 12%, it might need investigation. And the icing on the cake for operations console is the estate log. This is a real-time view, or very near real-time view, of everything across all of your estate that you deem important. So you can subscribe to different events. And to just cherry pick a few examples here, you can see on the left, we've had Ethernet 0 state change up to down. So that means a patch lead has come out. Now, it might be expected, but it might mean the lead has failed, it's broken, or someone is unplugging or indeed plugging things in and maybe using your data when they shouldn't. Another thing on the list there is power switch from external to battery. So external power has been lost, we're now using the battery. We've got so many hours of hold-up time, what are we going to do about it? And just to cherry pick one final example, active link change from WLAN or Wi-Fi to WWAN1, which refers to SIM slot 1. So if we've set up a system for Wi-Fi primary with 4G failover, then we know that that event has taken place, and perhaps we might want to investigate why. And just to conclude, that just to enable everyone to literally get a quick start with the platform, get all of the value from it immediately, and to really understand how it can dovetail into your processes and what your business has to do and contend with. these videos are there and ready to go. So in summary, Operations Console saves you time, and very often that time directly is from a salary of a technical person or an operative that is designed to look after such a state. So you're directly saving time and money in salary. And it also means you can have happier customers because you will be the first to know when there's a problem, and you can remediate the problems more quickly and effectively by using Operations Console. So thanks very much. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to speak to your local Robustel representative or email support@robustel.com. Thanks very much. Bye for now.